There's a 72-hour algorithm that when I put in and my keyword's plumbing and I want to get found for plumbing, YouTube's going to push me out for 72 hours. Well, if I'm putting another video out within that 72 hours, that means for the whole week, I'm getting pushed out for plumbing. Now, that's a trick a lot of YouTube coaches aren't going to tell you.
All right, folks, I am super excited to bring you another episode of Keeping It Real with an unfamiliar face, notice the mustache, who is Roger Wakefield. Now, I'm going to give a bit of an introduction here, so just sit back and wait for this one. You're going to love what you are about to see, so waste no time, grab this one, download it. You're going to want to watch it again, but you're also going to want to see Roger at the Real Geeks User Conference this year. If you're listening live, 2023 Real Geeks Conference in Dallas, October 17th, 18th, 19th. Roger will be speaking on the 19th. It will be incredible. We'll come back to more of that later, but Roger... the first time I met Roger, he made an utterly inappropriate joke. I came across the table and almost ripped his throat out. I said, "Hey, my name's Todd Tramonte." He said, "I'm Roger Wakefield. I've been in your house with your wife twice." And I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "You may not remember my face, but I think you know my name. I'm a plumber." I said, "Oh my gosh, yes, I know exactly who you are." And then we had breakfast together and caught up. But yes, at your core, you got this whole thing started as a plumber, right? So Roger Wakefield, plumber, content creator extraordinaire, plumbing materials. What all are we into now?
All of it. Slab leaks, leak detection. We look at specialties, things that other people aren't doing, all right, and try to get out in front of people. So that's
at the local level.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then I bumped into Roger most recently out on the road, speaking, teaching, and really training and equipping and modeling for people a life that can be lived built on content marketing, right? So in the early days, you're shooting videos to get more plumbing business. Now it's gone a little bit beyond that, right?
I sold the plumbing business.
Yes, you did.
So yeah, it's a little different now.
Yeah. So now you're building new facilities and doing all kinds of crazy things. So it would be very difficult to give you a complete bio and summary of Roger, but let's just say started out as a plumber, became a full-time marketer, now getting back into some industry business in order to monetize the massive reach you've created, the influence you've created, and obviously kind of reinvest some earnings that you've created. So I'm thrilled for you guys and girls, to get to know Roger, but I'm also going to do my best to draw out of him a bunch of actionable takeaways for you to go and build your marketing, your local business, maybe bigger, and certainly your content marketing. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. And Todd, it's funny because even nowadays, whenever I speak on stages, I always start off, "I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm just a plumber." And there's so much truth to that. So any of y'all out there that are thinking, well, look, I'm a real estate agent. I'm this, I'm in mortgage, I'm in banking, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I literally am just a plumber. I did not go to school for marketing, for advertising, anything at all. I didn't go to college. I've taken a few college courses to become an instructor for plumbing in the union. But at the end of the day, I'm just a plumber.
All right. Now, here's the deal. He's already lying to you because he's not just a plumber. Now, that may be the license and credentials someplace, but I've watched this guy grow an incredible local business and now an international media conglomerate empire. What do we want to call it?
You bet.
All right. Here's the thing. You do need to recognize the difference. The beauty and the value here is that is how Roger thinks of himself. He is still serving his core audience with an unbelievably high quality content. But we're going to dive in now and talk about why you care. Why does this matter to you as a real estate agent, a broker, a team leader, somebody building a real estate business in order to live the life you want to live? Probably coming up against one of a few significant hindrances. So for a lot of these folks, it's, hey, I'm actually doing pretty well, but the only way for me to scale and make more money is to go show more houses, write more offers, beat the streets, be away from my family. For others, it's, I can't figure out how to get enough of those sales, right? So it's not all that different from the industries and businesses you've been around. By the way, Roger's around more trades than just plumbing now. He gets invited all over the world to talk about all sorts of trades.
You bet.
So If somebody out there right now wants to just know, what are we even talking about? What is this whole content marketing thing? What does that even mean?
Well, let's talk about why I started it.
Okay.
Literally, I had a plumbing company right down the street from you, and I spent $47,000 to make my phone stop ringing. Okay. So think about that. I was paying for SEO. I was paying for pay-per-click. I was paying for website optimization. I believe in organic. I didn't want to do pay-per-click. Let me invest more in organic because I want this to be a forever thing. And literally, I'm at a conference in New Orleans. I'm riding up the escalator. My phone goes off. I thought, man, it hadn't rang all day. And I grabbed my phone. It's Amber, my office manager. She says, our phones aren't ringing. And I'm like, man, I thought you just had me turned off or something. She said, no, our phones are not ringing. So I start trying to call my latest website guy, and he's ghosting me. And I mean, it was like our phone went like 2 or 3 days and did not ring. And finally I messaged him. I said, whatever you've done, change it back immediately, yada, yada, yada. I realized when I got home, I have to take this into my own hands. I did not trust marketing companies. I had been sold a lot of bull. They'd come in and tell you what you want to hear. Yeah. I mean, we've all been there. And the thing is, when you're a plumbing company, when you're a real estate agent, they're like, well, just give us more money. We'll do more work for you.
If you just close one more deal.
Whatever it is. And I decided I wanted to learn social media. And I started studying it and figured out what conference to go to, who I wanted to learn from. And it's really funny. I was on the treadmill working out one morning, and I turn on YouTube, have my headphones in, and think about this, because I turn on YouTube to watch videos. And I'll go a little more in depth on that because of the conference that I went to. But I'm listening to Gary Vee, and he's on stage and he pulls out his phone. He says, I don't, whatever words he chose to use.
Bleepity, bleep,
yeah, bleepity, bleepity, bleep. I don't give a dang if you're 20, 50, or 70, you can do this. And I almost fell off the treadmill. I stepped on the side, I grabbed the handles, and I reached up and I rewound it again. And I mean, and I've got them right now. I had chills because I'm like, wait, he's talking to me. And think about the words he's saying. I don't care if you are 20, 50, or 70. Well, I was about 50. Actually, I was in my mid-50s. So I wasn't young. But I decided then I'm going to this conference. I'm going to learn social media myself. And about 2 weeks later, I was at a conference in San Diego. Okay,
let's do a little jump around here, though.
Yes.
Okay, so you did that then. Now, why did I invite you here to talk to these people? So what are you doing now? What is that? Where have you come from there? And then we can unpack a little bit of how people can do that. But don't be modest right now. What do you have going on right now that somebody might say, okay, now I need to get goosebumps listening to him because he can help me transform my life?
This is easy. This is easy. So first of all, I want y'all to think about what industry you're in. Now, I was in plumbing, but anybody right now can go to YouTube and search plumbing. Now think about that. Search plumbing. You're going to find me. Look for the stash.
Usually first,
it's
but
recognizable.
Never later than second or third.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I've got the biggest plumbing YouTube channel in the world. That's the easiest way to put it. But it's easy for me to say that and somebody say, yeah. But when you go search plumbing, what if somebody was searching real estate?
Yeah.
And you came up first? What if somebody was searching real estate and you came up 6 to 12 times in the top 20 videos? That's coming up 3 to 6 times on page 1 of Google when somebody searches real estate. Now, when I went to that conference, what blew my mind, I walk into this class, not thinking, remember, I'm 54. I'm there to learn social media, so I'm thinking Facebook. There was a placard outside of a room that said, get in front of your customers using video. I thought, God, we could do videos. Never thinking it would be me in front of a camera.
Right.
But I walk in, I sit on the front row, and a guy walks out on stage, and he says, the first words, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. I shut my notebook, and I turn around to get up and walk out because I thought, this guy's nuts. He doesn't know anything. This is just where I store my videos. The room is full. There's people standing along the back, and I turn back around, I look up at him in time to hear him say, and it's owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world. That changed my life right there.
Okay, so let me give a little more color to that because Roger's going to be a little humble here. Not only is he dominating YouTube, but now you're on every social media platform out there, basically TikTok, Facebook, Instagram,
even LinkedIn. I was asked to be one of the first 12 people in the world to do live stream on LinkedIn.
Yep.
And I'm like,
okay, now you're bragging.
If I'm a plumber, y'all know that, right? It's a trip.
I'm going to tell the story, and I think you know which one I'm going to tell. I was with Roger. We're in a marketing group together, and we've spent 2 days together building businesses and sharpening each other and talking smack. And then we go out to this secret
speakeasy bar.
You gotta like walk into a suit tailor place, tell them your size, whatever, pick up the phone. They open the secret door. Anyway, we're down there. There's a bowling alley. There's a band. The band's rocking out. And another guy in our group, should I say the name or no? I don't know. Famous musician that people would know. And so I go up to the band. I'm like, hey, will you let him on stage? Can he come play with y'all? And they're like, sure, whatever. So at the break, we work it all out. Long story short, he gets up, rocks out this thing. I felt bad for the band.
Puts on an amazing show.
I felt bad for the band, though, because they had like 15 people paying attention. He got up there and like 250 people stormed the stage. Yeah. He gets off and they all left again. Just dominated some Stevie Wonder. But anyway, during that whole deal, the guy that runs the band was a little bit confused about who was trying to get this musician guy on stage. And he's like, it was the guy in the red shirt. Well, I had a red shirt on and Roger had a red shirt on. So somebody else goes, oh, Roger? And the dude looks up and goes, are you Roger Wakefield, the plumber? To be clear, he did not know who the musician was by name, who has been on Broadway, American Idol, and a whole bunch of very, very significant commercials. He had no idea who this guy was, but he knew the plumber from YouTube immediately and went from being a little bit annoyed that somebody wanted on his stage to just honored to be in the presence of the plumber from YouTube. That is not an exaggeration.
And I think they set all this up. I'm just going to tell y'all that. I really think they set all this up.
To be clear, when I was telling the guys at Real Geeks that I was going to have Roger on, they're like, tell us more about him. Who is this guy? And I started explaining it. And I won't say who, but one of the leaders at Real Geeks was like, I watched that guy's videos. That would be great. So that's the point. It's not, can you get on there and can you make videos and can you generate leads? Roger has built a completely different entity. I'm not technically speaking, you probably have, but there's a whole world in business just from your content now, though, right? So can you speak just quickly? We'll do more at the conference. What's possible if you do that? You build an audience, people keep watching. Is it still all about plumbing leads, or what's possible from that type of growth?
I started the channel as Texas Green Plumbing, which was my local plumbing company. And after just a year or so, we started realizing we've got more plumbers watching us than we do homeowners. Homeowners are what we wanted. That's an audience. Yep. So we decided to change the channel name. I had won a contest through American Standard. That's where I first learned about social media. Won a contest through them called The Expert Plumber. So we changed the name of the channel to The Expert Plumber. It started doing really well, but then we started noticing that we've got a lot of trades watching us. So after about another year, we changed it to Roger Wakefield because we searched all our analytics, and that was our biggest search term by that point. Yeah. And man, it's exploded since then, but it's great because the opportunities that come along when you put yourself out there are fantastic. I mean, look, I get to speak to real estate agents now, and because I'm like a real estate agent, we work locally. Why would anybody get on YouTube to grow a local business? Because if you grow your brand, if you grow your reach nationally and people come search your website, that builds your local domain authority. So, and look, there's a lot to go into to tie it all together there. But man, there's so many things that you can do. It changes your world. It changes, the money you make, the way you make money. Now I make money through sponsors. I don't deal with customers.
Let's talk about that really quickly.
You bet.
Big picture without breaking down a bunch of specifics. What are you don't have to give your hardcore numbers, but like you've got brand partnerships now, right? You've got I have a radio show. I have a sponsor. They might pay a couple, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month to get their name said on the show. Well, you've got a similar concept with millions of views and followers and all these things. What is possible for someone?
Well, my first sponsorship deal was $400,000
for the year.
For a year.
Right?
Yeah.
And now You've got them
Several of those.
much larger than that,
Yes.
and many more of them, right?
Yes.
So at the conference, the title of your session is 7-figure brand, what do we call it? 7-figure content marketing strategies. Now, right there, we lost some people. They're like, oh my gosh, he can do what I can't. I'm telling you, what he's trying to tell you is he's
if
just
I can do it,
a
anybody
plumber.
can.
That's what he's trying to tell you. He's just a plumber. Right now, look, he's obviously an intelligent, hardworking guy. So are you. If you're watching this, so are you. You're seeking out information to grow your business. Now, let's get into some of the nitty gritty. So let's just say I am listening to this. I'm a real estate agent, and I've never really gotten into this content marketing thing. I've done a video for a property here and there, but how could I get started?
You know, to be honest, I wouldn't even do a video for a property. I'd do a video about a park, a restaurant, something in the community to say, oh my gosh, look, I was out looking at this house today that I'm listing, and I drove by this park and I wanted to get out and walk through it and see it. Oh my God, this is such a beautiful park. Now, what have you just done? You've told people about a park that maybe they don't know about. Maybe they love parks and this got their attention. But you also said, look, I drove over here to look at a house I'm listing. You didn't say, hey, call me if you want to buy it. You just said you're a real estate agent. You have a house listed in an area, but you never said that.
So what I'm hearing you say, just from a principle standpoint, is just make engaging content.
Every day.
Don't hide that you're a real estate professional, but don't punch people in the face with it either, because they're not really interested in that.
Todd, it's funny. The first year or so that I made videos, everybody kept telling me, you need a call to action. You need a call to action. Yeah. I never had one. I had a banner behind me, or I had a shirt on. I never said, hey, if you really need a plumber to come fix it, call me. Yep. Most of these people aren't in my area, but they knew that they could call the number on the screen. They could go to the website. They could do anything like that. But I never, like you said, I never punched them in the face. And it's like, hey, I'm a plumber. I own this company. Call me.
All right. So same person, not really doing a whole lot of content marketing right now, but interested in 7-figure results, interested in huge brand partnerships, interested in more leads, interested in either the phone's ringing off the hook or a bunch of web opt-ins or whatever. So, all right, I made a video of a park. I have one video now. What kind of pattern, what kind of system, how do I consistently do that? Do I need to? Can I make a ton of money off one video? I mean, what does this look like as a commitment?
You're not going to make a ton of money off one video. And I'll tell you this, that one video, if you're just starting out, is probably going to be on Facebook. That's where most people have their most connections right now. But you're going to do that each and every day. Maybe that same day you video twice, maybe the same park. That way tomorrow, next week, whatever, you can say, you know what, last week I was at that park. I didn't show you all this part, but the water park that they have here is amazing. The fountain that they have, whatever it is. You can go through, you can shoot multiple videos in one day. It doesn't mean you have to post them all today. You learn to batch create, where you're creating more than one piece of content at a time. And it doesn't always have to be a video. You can literally do a picture. You can do a post of a video. You can do a long form content. If I were buying a house in Dallas, these are the top 10 things I'd want to know. Now, do that for every city that you work in. There's a lot of different things you can do.
So what frequency would you recommend for a newer content creator that is wanting to drive local business?
If you're new, you've got a lot of time. Use that time wisely. In the beginning, I didn't have money. I had time. That's how I ended up working with y'all. I would go by real estate agent offices, go in with a card and say, look, I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm a plumber. I would love to talk to your real estate agents and explain to them why sewer and water testing before a buyer buys is huge.
Yep. So you were hustling.
You bet.
But when you started doing videos, were you doing one a week, one a month?
3 YouTubes a week. Okay. Now that's a lot of work. That's 3 10-minute videos at the time.
Yep.
And some of them, I would literally just sit down in front of a laptop at a desk, and I didn't even have a microphone, so I'd yell at the laptop. Yep. And that's how I started. You don't have to have great equipment to start out, but get started.
So if I was starting now, is that still what you'd recommend?
Absolutely.
3 videos a week?
For YouTube, if you have the time, yes, learn to edit or learn to shoot a video without editing. Say, hey guys, look, I'm not going to edit this video, but I'm at a park, and you go through it and you show the park, you do things. You're trying to build engagement. You're not trying to be Mr. Beast today.
Right.
You're not trying to create the greatest video ever made on YouTube. You're trying to build engagement with people. And then one big thing that I would do that a lot of people don't do, reply to every comment. In the beginning, I replied to every comment. I mean, I'd get a comment and I'd get excited. It's like, oh my God, somebody left a comment.
Yep.
And
we're still doing that.
Yeah. And
I still get excited.
Yeah. When you get 1,000, 2,000 a day.
Dirtbag.
Yeah. Well, most of them are, but you try to get them over to YouTube to leave nicer comments. Maybe their IQ level goes up. On TikTok, I didn't say that. But the thing is, when you get 1,000, 2,000 comments a day, it's hard to reply to all of them.
So to be clear, he is getting thousands of comments a day now. But that's the thing. If you're tracking with us still and you feel like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do though. Tell me if I get off of and kind of interpreting what you're saying.
Okay.
If you're a beginner content creator, you need time. You need time to build this thing up, right? Now, you can drop all the content you create on social media and you probably get some of these quicker fixes of response rate. But if you want to build on YouTube, it's going to take time. You learn editing, you learn the development piece of this thing, but make videos, right? If you could make 3 a week, 3 a week is going to get you kind of this critical mass of content and audience a lot faster than 1 a month, right? But what I think you're saying somewhere in there is no perfect, predictable magic formula. You got to start putting in the work, and now's a better time than next month or next week.
Here's what I like about the 3 a week. There's a 72-hour algorithm that when I put in my keywords plumbing and I want to get found for plumbing, YouTube's going to push me out for 72 hours. Well, if I'm putting another video out within that 72 hours, that means for the whole week, I'm getting pushed out for plumbing. Now, that's a trick a lot of YouTube coaches aren't going to tell you. But I started doing that. Now, for people that are saying, well, I just don't want to drive around to parks. I don't want to go to restaurants. I'm going to get tired. Start answering the questions that people call into your office and ask every day.
Mm-hmm. We do a whole radio show based on that concept, right?
Absolutely.
We used to do it live, and we'd pick up the phone, and whoever was out there would ask whatever they wanted, which sometimes was good, sometimes wasn't.
It's not, yes.
Now we pre-record, and we genuinely are going through the questions that come into our office, come into the website, come into YouTube. Oftentimes, we'll literally just say, hey, here's a YouTube comment. We're going to answer that question. If you're not listening live, check us out on YouTube or the podcast. So what I have learned from Roger is the lesson is to be careful and think critically. Obviously, he's quoting statistics and understanding the algorithm, but it's also don't be afraid to put out content. Is that accurate?
Yeah. And look, I put out stuff where I make mistakes. People need to understand, like, I'm a master plumber, but I did a video the other day where I'm digging and putting in a water line, and we had buried another water line deeper. But when I was digging the top one, I hit the bottom one. So I'm doing a video. Guys, look, even master plumbers make mistakes. People need to know you're real. And by putting out content, by talking to people, and I'll give you 3 good tips right here. When you're making a video, know what lens to look at. Know what lens on your camera you need to look at, and look that lens straight in the eye. I'm looking at the camera right now. Look them straight in the eye, because the person that's watching this feels like you're looking at them. Say the words you. And I said that a while ago about Gary Vee. If you are 20, 50, or 70, say the words you and look at that camera like you're talking to your best friend. So I can look at that camera like it's Todd and say, Todd, look, here's why you want to do 3 videos a week, and start with that. It's going to bring more engagement to you, but also you want to be consistent about it, because YouTube wants to know, look, he's going to put these videos out every single week. So you know what? Next Wednesday at 5:00 in the afternoon, right before he posts, we know he's going to, so we're getting ready to start pointing people his direction. It's a big deal.
Yeah. So sidebar, that's a great one for Zoom and those kind of things too, where people are looking at the picture of themselves down here instead of the camera up there. It does take some discipline to kind of learn that, right? To kind of stare at a piece of glass, but the person on the other side really feeling like you're engaged with them. Okay. So what other quick tips do you have for a beginner that is really like, fine, I'm going to go over the edge and commit to getting going with some video content?
Get ahead. Shoot your first 10 videos, and it may be questions that come in. It may be going to the park. It may be going to local restaurants. You could even, if I was a real estate agent, I would work a deal out with the local restaurants that I loved and say, hey, look, I'm going to make a video about your restaurant. I want to tell people about it, but you know what? I want to come in for dinner free once a week, once a month, whatever it is. That way you're there. You can check in, you can tag yourself. And then people say, hey, look, he doesn't just make a video about the restaurant. Man, he goes there all the time. Look at something like that. Build relationships in the community. Now, guess what happens? If that restaurant has some guy come in and say, well, I'm new in town. I'm looking for a place to live. They're like, oh my God, we got a real estate agent you need to talk to. Yeah. You build amazing relationships, and that's huge.
We've done that with our client parties. We've shot videos at the client parties and then about them. And then just as an audience share strategy, which is a really important aspect of content marketing, if you get to that point of, hey, we're going to promote this to our list. We made this video. Will you promote it to your list? Will you put it on your social media platforms? All those kind of things. Okay. Now let's flip the scales. Okay. Let's talk to the real estate agent, team leader, and broker who has been making content maybe for a long time, but they feel like what you're saying is baloney. Right? They're like, look, I've been making videos. I get 47 views. The best video we ever did, we have 1,200 views on. We get some business every once in a while, but I don't know if this is worth the time that we're putting into it because we don't have 7-figure brand deals. We don't have millions of subscribers. What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? What's working? What should those of us in that situation be doing?
First of all, if you're the broker and the team leader, every piece of content you make should be shared by everybody on your team because you're going to put out valuable content. And I've talked to companies that own $100 million companies or entrepreneurs that own $100 million companies. I'm like, if you would let me walk in and show you how to do social media, I can cut that $50 million a year Google bill in half or maybe cut it 75% and show you how to reallocate that where you're getting more organic, honest reach instead of ads. And as a broker, as a team leader, somebody like that, you come up with a plan and say, look, we're going to put out this great content and we're going to ask y'all to share it. And think about that. That can turn 47 views into 4,700 views.
Will you define honest reach? Because I think I know what you mean by that, but I'd love for all of us to hear it.
0 paid ads. Every employee I have probably has 200 to 400 connections in their phone, in their Facebook group, in their wherever. This is all organic. This is not paid. This is, I'm going to put a post out, and as soon as I put it out, Todd and Rebecca and Fred and John and Earl, they all know, hey, Roger's going to put a post out at 9 o'clock. I'm going to jump in and share it. I'm going to say, this is why I love working here. Yeah. We help people. Whatever the post is about, be honest, be sincere, read it, look at it, and think about it. Think, you know what, here's what I would say to that. Because now this is your people talking to their people. Not just using your voice, not just sharing your deal.
Yeah, I mean, the way we communicate that on our team, and we do not do this perfectly. As a matter of fact, my follow-up question might be, do you use a whip or a cattle prod to get them to always do that? But
what if you rewarded them? What if you said, hey, instead of taking that money we're going to send to Google, whoever gets the most shares, whoever gets the most likes, whoever gets the most engagement, whoever gets this, now you make it a contest. Yeah. And now they're like, dude,
that has been our most successful approach.
Todd, you hadn't sent your post out yet. Hurry up. I'm sitting here waiting.
That has been our most successful approach. We got to figure out how to systematize it so it's exciting every time instead of once a month or that kind of thing. And that works for reviews and post shares and likes and all that kind of stuff. But if you are a team leader or a broker, hopefully that was a writer downer for you, right? So you are already probably working hard at putting something out there of high quality, right? Even if it's print material and things like that. If you can think about getting it in front of a larger audience and worrying a little bit less about, just local, just my, sphere of influence. Now, I'm a big fan of ideal clients, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. We can communicate to the mass media audience and only do business with the ideal client, but there's value in the scale of the rest of that. So if you're Roger, you're worried a lot less now about a phone call. Can you come fix the pipe that got busted? Mm-hmm. Although that's still quality business.
You bet.
And more in the scale of a brand like a Ferguson or an American Standard or a big plumbing supplier that says, hey, we want to reach your 9 million or 20 million or 100,000 audience. That's worth $2 million a year to us. That's different than 200 or 2,000 on the local repair. Now, there are layers to this. There's a growth trajectory to this. So if you're not at the $2 million point yet and you're trying to generate the next real estate lead, then we still want to put out quality content. So as a leader, as an owner, as you're doing that, simply to get everyone that works with you to also share that, The thing that I've been working on, maybe you can help with this, is this should not be a burden to our people. This is an opportunity for our people. Here's engaging content for you to grow and scale your audience with content I've created. Now, I want you to add on top of that some more content if you want, some more engaging, relationship developing, trust building posting. But I'm actually providing that as a value for all of us to grow the brand that benefits all of us. If you want some nitty gritty how the heck did Roger build this thing? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but he's going to be speaking at the Real Geeks User Conference, October 17th, 18th, 19th, 2023. If you happen to be listening to this in 2028, you got to find that recording someplace because it was great. Trust me.
It'll be there. Yeah,
it's going to be legendary. But if you're catching this now, you need a ticket to that conference. You need to go to urguc.com. The link will be somewhere around wherever you're seeing this or hearing this. And you need to grab a ticket while you can. Roger's going to be spending a good chunk of that day 3 with us. We're going to be making a difference for Compassion International together. But also, when he speaks, and I've seen him do this, he is a giver. He is going to pour it out for us, folks. He's already promised to do that, and I've seen him do it before. You're going to want to be in the room. We're kind of bouncing around today, just kind of getting nuggets. We've been beat up by, you got to be better, you got to be more smarter, clever, spend more. What's actually true about that?
How many of y'all have seen a post by any real estate agent you know about a park in a neighborhood? You want to be different? I'm telling you how to be different. I told you a story. There used to be, I spoke at a mortgage event here 2 or 3 years ago on a stage in Garland. And it was really neat because at that time, there was a young lady on LinkedIn, which I'm not as big as I am everywhere else, but I check LinkedIn a lot myself. And there's a girl that used to make posts about what she was doing. And it was always, I'm out with a family member. I'm out with a friend. I'm helping them look for a house. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. We found the coolest park, the coolest restaurant, the coolest theater. There's something unique about this city. There's something unique about this area. How many of y'all have heard any real estate agents do that? Because I knew she was a real estate agent. I knew her name at the time. And I want you to remember that part. At the time, I knew who she worked for. I knew what part of town she sold and bought houses in. But she quit doing it. And I don't remember her name. Yeah, I mean, I'm serious right there. Yeah. Look, this is a long game. It's not, you're going to make a video today and tomorrow you're going to sell 20 houses. Now, if it's a great video, I don't know, maybe you can. I want to learn from you. But here's the thing. Once you start, be consistent. If you go to watch your favorite TV show every Friday night at 8:00, and if you're doing that, you don't have much of a life. But no, I'm joking. I do that. That's why I picked that time. So, but my thing is, if you go next Friday night and it's not on, and there's nothing saying it's not here, it's just not there. And you go back next Friday night, guess what? The next Friday night, you're not going to be sitting on the couch waiting. When you put out content on a regular basis and you're consistent, people will start looking for your content. Whenever I saw her post, I always clicked on it. I want to read what she's doing.
All right. So be different, be consistent.
Yes.
Anything else just right off the top of the mind for how do I make sure my content's engaging? Somebody would want to share it.
Always bring value.
Okay.
It's not about, I'm not making a video about the house I want to sell. I'm making a video about why this house, this part of town, this area would be valuable to some people.
Okay.
Every video you make needs to be value. If somebody watches your video and they think, I just lost 5 minutes of my life, I will never get back.
Yeah.
They're not coming back.
TikTok
it is.
comments.
It really is. Yeah. That's why they only get 30 seconds to a minute.
I'm always fascinated by how brilliant TikTok people are. They all have PhDs. They know about diseases. They know about the economy. They know about real estate and plumbing. It's a fascinating world out there. Okay.
Did he throw plumbing in there?
I did. See what I did?
Man.
Come on. All right. Here's the thing. If you are currently doing content, Gary V's name has come up. Hormozy's been a monster lately. There's all these different ways to do it. There is not necessarily a one size fits all. And we have not cracked this code, but I will say, I've been talking to Roger for a long time. I've been creating content on YouTube since like 2007. We did what she did. We stopped for a while, but for the last 7, 8, 9 years, we've been super, super consistent. And we have not fully cracked the code to achieve Roger status, but We have consistently produced home buyers, home sellers, even a little bit of recruiting value there.
You bet.
And we know we can get a lot better. So I brought Roger to speak at the conference because I want to listen to Roger speak at the conference. But if folks want to know more about this and see what you're up to, where can they learn more from you or find you and study what you're doing?
The best way is go to YouTube. That's where I do my long form content. Now we take that long form content and we repurpose it. We do about 125 posts a week, and we take that long form content, we cut little snippets out of it, we share it in a lot of different places. But YouTube's where you're going to see the big deal. You can find me on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Facebook, everywhere. But the thing is, learn to look what I'm doing. Take that long form content, cut it out in little clips. That can save you so much time there, because every day is not just making 25 posts. It's, wait, we've got this other stuff. How can we repurpose it and do things with it? So
that's a huge writer downer.
Yeah.
Let me make sure people get that. You're making a handful of pieces of long form content per week, and you have a team. Could be VAs, could be a third party, could be a piece of AI. We'll talk about that at the conference. But for now, something is taking that and breaking that down into 125 pieces of content every single week. Okay, so that's 500 in a normal month that you're putting out. By how many minutes or hours are you spending with a camera and a microphone?
Oh, man. Not very many.
Stumped him.
Not very many.
It sounds like...
it does. It sounds like a lot. I mean...
a couple, 2-3 hours a week maybe?
Yeah, some weeks are longer. I'm building an app right now, so I mean, I've got a lot of different things going.
But for that long
normally
form turned into short form, you need 3 or 4 10-minute videos, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, we do 2 8-minute videos, because the algorithms change. So we play the game. We do 2 8-minute videos. Takes us about 15 minutes to shoot those, and then I'm in front of the camera for a live stream for an hour and a half every Saturday morning.
Okay, so let's just really call that 2 hours, which is not even 2 hours.
That's a long week for me.
Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in.
I'm just saying.
All right, so a couple hours of content creation. Now, I'm looking right into the camera because Roger told me to. And I'm talking to agents, brokers, team leaders, and anyone involved in a real estate
He's
team.
talking to you because you're the one watching the video right now.
If you can't find 2 hours to potentially reduce the cost of your marketing, increase the longevity of the benefit of your marketing, meaning that lives out there forever, and potentially turn that in, you may not need to do 125, although it's a great goal. Potentially turn that into 20 or 30 pieces of content every week and get better and better and better, which you will do fast if you commit to this kind of thing, at being interesting, being shareable, being likable, and not hiding that you're a real estate agent, but not vomiting that on everybody digitally. It would be difficult not to see some success. At minimum, people going, wow, I'm seeing what you're doing. Most likely some calls, some emails, some comments that lead to buyers and sellers. And then potentially, I'm certainly not saying that everyone can and will do this, but potentially some sponsors and some brand partners that want to come alongside you, fund it, or create some additional revenue opportunities, some additional revenue streams, or the ability to reinvest for more and more marketing in your business. If you don't take anything else away from this, other than a couple of the 1, 2, 3 little tips, that's a great one. If you would spend an hour or 2 a week creating content, at the conference, actually, our team will share with you some AI tools and some other things we're doing to turn long form into short form, to replicate, to use some old content, redevelop to new. I am a big fan of repurposing your marketing. We do the radio show, to be in front of a bunch of, thousands of AM radio listeners, but even more so to have content to then go repurpose audio, video, digital, all that kind of stuff. So I am still learning from Roger. We are not yet at multiple 7-figure brand partners, but we have sponsors. We've scaled to that. We have significant 5 figures of monthly income from sponsors who want to partner in our content. We are turning long form into short form. We're also creating direct to short form, and we're creating some really long form with things like these conferences. So I'm learning. Hopefully you're learning. Are there any parting words today before we give you the stage for a full hour that you think real estate agents, team leaders, and brokers could benefit from in and around content marketing, whether it's video, audio, or anything else that you're up to?
Well, think about this. It's not just to sell houses. It's when other real estate agents start seeing what you're doing. Now they're like, I mean, you said your content has helped you get agents.
Yeah, for sure.
It's huge because you're the guy doing things that nobody else is doing. Mm-hmm. You're the guy that is being consistent. When I say guys, girls, the one I talked about a while ago was a female, and she was rocking it. Now, why she quit, I have no idea. But don't quit. Understand that as you get bigger and you may say, look, well, now I'm getting too busy to do it. Great. Hire somebody to help you so you can keep doing it because you got big for a reason.
Yeah. Well, and in your example, you sold your plumbing business and got into kind of the media business. Now, I know you're leveraging that in the plumbing world significantly, but also in other trades. And what I'm not saying go become a media influencer. Some of you may. But what I am saying is listen to this guy because he's walked the walk. He's not just talking the talk. He's proven it out. It's led to millions of dollars in income as well as, and this is where I'd like to end it. If you have another nugget, that's fine. But a lot of impact, right? So you're making plenty of money from doing all these things, but you are now helping other people impact their businesses, their lives, their communities. And in real estate, that is one of the great privileges of this business. I have friends that are literally doing multi-billion-dollar real estate deals, and the sinner in me, the dirtbag in me will become envious for a minute.
You bet.
And then I remember, but those guys come home and they often ask themselves, and they tell me this, I don't know if anything I did today really mattered or impacted anybody. We know it does because we're talking to families who are thinking about educational decisions for their kids, thinking about where's their family going to eat? Where are they going to sleep? Are they safe? If I leave town, do I want them to be here? Is this a place to cultivate the marriage and family and recreation and life and faith and health? All the things that matter to people. Is this the right place for that? And if your content can help you do more of that, maybe you make millions of dollars. Maybe you get more sales, but you will absolutely be able to impact people, whether it's buyers, sellers, viewers, listeners, or agents, brokers, team leaders, to live a better life, to have more impact. It is an unbelievable vehicle, whether it's YouTube, radio, podcast, whatever, to be able to impact people through your head and your heart and your mouth and the gifts you have and the lessons you've learned. And I would encourage you to come to the conference or track this guy down some way. Watch what he's doing. Study what he's doing. He's being very, very humble today. I appreciate it. But in some ways, my fear is that people watching are like, okay, he can do it. I can't. I didn't get a 12-step playbook today, so I don't know if this was helpful for me. I know you got 4, 5, 6 good nuggets because I've been watching people behind the camera take notes, and I've been mentally taking notes. But I'm telling you, if you're still on the fence of could I do this, you better make sure you get a ticket to the conference. Go to urguc.com. Be with us October 17th, 18th, 19th, 2023. If you missed it, track me down. I'll get you a recording. If it's way too late for that, track him down because by the time you're watching it a year from now, he's going to be on bigger stages. He might be selling a program. Whatever the case it is, if you're selling it, I'm buying it because I need some Roger Wakefield type of impact in my life. We've got big goals. We want to impact a lot of people to build real estate businesses that impact hundreds, if not thousands of lives per year. And we're going to get to do a whole lot of that at this conference, much less continuing to work together. And I don't want people to miss it because of your humility. So any final thoughts?
Yeah. Something you just said about all these different reasons how you impact. Each one of those is a video. You don't make a video about a park in an area. Make a video about how safe and secure the neighborhood is.
Yeah.
You know, if I travel out of town a lot and I'm going to leave my wife and children home, I want to know things like that. Hey guys, look, the crime area in this area is the lowest in town. Hey guys, the crime area in this area, if you're going to leave town, leave your wife with a military with her because she's going to get robbed.
With the military.
And when you think about things like that, and the last thing is, look, I'm going to give you step-by-step details, things that you can do at this event, okay? ERGOC, right?
Yeah,
ERGOC.
sure. Yeah. So everyone loves to say it. I should have named it very differently earlier, but ERGOC is a very ugly sounding name.
It just came out. I kind of ERGOC'd it. So ERGOC.com. But the cool thing is, any of y'all can do this. And if you're sitting there saying you can't, you're not hearing something clearly. And I know that y'all can do it. I talked earlier, no education, nothing in marketing, advertising, anything at all. I just walked in and decided on YouTube that I'm going to learn how to do YouTube. Think about that one for a minute. And I know y'all can do it because I did it. And I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm just a plumber.
And scene. All right, folks, make sure you check out all the Keeping It Real series because this is what we're doing. Usually it's grabbing real estate professionals that are the best of the best from all over the place. From time to time, I know when I get the mic, I like to bring in folks that you might not expect to see and hear from. So check out Roger, check out the conference, check out the other Keeping It Real episodes, and we'll see you on the next one.